So I'm going to start a little tutorial on how to create works in the style of Sam Green. As you can see here, so it's going to be done layering several images together. Now, the first thing I have done is I have got my image. I had just found a stock image online, screenshotted it and taken it into my app. So the app that I have used here has been Artleap. So you're able to get that online. Again, you can either use Artleap, you might want to use PixArt, depending on the look that you're going for. So here is my original image. This next image here, I had used using the kind of sketch function on there, just to get the outline, and then again playing around with some other filters on it. I have this as another option, so this is the artistic section and it's Sketcher. Now if you click on the kind of type that you want, and then you see the little sliders coming up, if you click on that you can go in and you can edit and manipulate the image a little bit further in there depending on the look that you're going for. But these are the three images that I have. You'll see a combination of my original and the line, and then the original and this artistic sketch one here. So you're going to be able to see how it looks with both of those. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have my original. You should have all your files pre-organised. I am going to take that and drag it into Photoshop where it'll open up. Now you can have this taken into an A4 document if you wish, but I have found that just by having the screenshot of my original photo and then of the line, it keeps them exactly the same size, so it makes it much easier when you are coming to edit. And for me, when I have printed out in the past, the image quality hasn't been affected too much by that. So I've now got my original here. I'm then going to click and drag my line over into it, and then that can be placed on top. Now at the minute we have this layer here above my photograph. I want to have them the kind of opposite way about. Then I can drag that under here and I can have my image on top. I want my line on top at the minute, and what I am looking to do is cut out some sections of this at some point. So I need to make this, I need to take it from a smart layer into just a normal layer. So again, to do that I'm going to do Command A, or you can do select all, Command C or edit copy, and then Command V, and that is edit paste, and you see I've got a new layer just here. So I've got my original and I have my layer. Obviously what you can then do is if you go to the marquee tool, I can actually select and cut out. So I've used the marquee tool to select, I can do Command X to cut. I can do the same with the bottom of my image, and then do exactly the same with my image here. I'm just cutting off that kind of top section that I don't need, so I've got my two images. Now what I want to make sure is that they are lined up correctly on top of each other. So in order to do that, I need to change the opacity of my top layer. So make sure you've selected the top layer, and I'm going to take that opacity down. So obviously I can see here that they're not lined up. So I can click and drag that down. You can do Command plus to zoom in, and then you can obviously lower it until you're happy with the position of your portrait. So the two of them line up pretty well now, and you will have something like that. Now what I'm looking to do is get some of these kind of brush marks. So a few different ways that you can do it is you can actually use the kind of rubber tool here. You can change the size, and I can rub out areas that I want. So again, you can be really quite sketchy. Obviously I can spend a lot more time on it, and this is the kind of look here that it can give you. If you want more of a kind of streamlined brush mark, you want something perhaps that looks as if it's got a little bit more texture, then what I would recommend is that you go into the SharePoint, the OneDrive link that I have posted into Teams, and download that brushes PDF, or PSD, Photoshop file I should say. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I want to take this one here. I'm going to take this kind of brush stroke. I'm going to select all. I'm going to copy, and then I'm going to go into my image here, and I am going to paste. And if that dialog box comes up, just hit OK, and then I can resize it. Again, with anything, as soon as you resize, you need to finish that action off. So either the little tick sign up here, or you can just hit enter and that finishes it off for you. Now what I want to do is I'm going to merge my layer 2, which is my line image, and I'm going to merge my layer 3 together. However, I want to cut out the brush section, and if the colour of my brush is quite dark and a bit too close to the black of my line, it's going to end up selecting all. So what I like to do is make this area a really bright colour. So I've selected pink. You can just go to this bottom part here, click on the coloured box and make it any kind of colour. I typically would go, if I have a black outline or a dark background, I would go for a warm colour, so pinks or reds or orange. It makes your life a little bit easier when you're cutting out. You'll be able to see that in a minute. So I have clipped and filled this here, so it is pink. I now want to merge these two layers so that when I select my pink area, I cut it out and it's the only thing that you should be able to see. So make sure that this bottom layer you have made invisible. You can only see your layer 2 and 3. I'm going to merge these together, so I'm going to go to layer, merge visible, and then this is what I should see. Right, so I'm going to make my layer 1 visible. What I am then going to do is on the left hand side, a bit further down, you are going to select the magic wand tool. I want to make sure that I have selected all the pink. Now you'll be able to see that not all of these pink sections have been selected. The reason being is this contiguous box has not been ticked. So if I untick it, it selects absolutely everything. So I've selected this area, this is what I want to cut out. I'm then going to do edit, cut, and then what you should see is your actual photograph appear underneath. And there we go, and you can see here you've still got the texture from that paint. Again, if I was to do it with, say I'm going to select this one here, select all, copy, and then paste. Just click don't show again, so I've said OK. Again, you can resize it, maybe to make it a little bit smaller, rotate it slightly, and then again what I want to do is change that to pink, so get any little grey bits in there that I have missed. Once again, I'm going to make my layer 1 invisible. I'm going to layer, merge visible. I'm going to select this area and delete it, and then underneath you should be able to see. So again, all you need to do is copy your brush, paste it in here, make sure it's a relatively bright colour, something that totally contrasts with your kind of black outline, and then you can delete that as appropriate, or again you can just use the eraser tool on its own. Again, you can change the size, you might want to change the kind of hardness of it, etc. You might want to have it where it is quite blurred. That is entirely up to you, but you will get something like this.